All right, so I thought that I would create a video on how to set up a learning task. Now, this one will be just a simple task that I will put into one of my classes just to show you how to do everything. So, first of all, let's have a look at the tasks that we're going to do. So, I've written a few tasks recently. So these are little challenges that I do with my Year 7s and 8s in teaching them how to write code in Explorer. So I'm going to do the challenge number 2 because I've already done challenge number 1. So what we do is we've got to get to our learning task or creation of our learning task. So we go to our MN Connect, you got to sign in, and then go to Compass, and all this stuff is all pretty straightforward. Everyone always remembers how to get to our Compass page. Now, you don't have to go to your actual class page to start creating a learning task. You go to the pen and you choose School Resources, and we have all these folders set up in our school resources. So this is going to be a Year 7 task. So in TAS, go to stage 4, and we've got digital technologies, and I've just set up a few folders in there. Setting up folders is pretty easy, but I'm going to go to learning task, and you can see that I've got a few tasks in here, but I haven't got all the ones that I want. So first of all, we go to add content, and we're going to choose a learning task. The name of the learning task is Arduino Explorer Challenge number 2, and this is an easy task, so we're going to do that. Now in here, we're going to put what the challenge is. So I'll go to this. I've actually got another one, but I'll put this one in just at the moment because I've got a link that has a video that shows you how to do it. We go in here and we just put that, right? Challenge number 2, write a sketch where a green LED is on for 10 seconds. So that's our task. We can upload a file if we want to there. I'm not going to touch any of this just yet because I want to show you something else. All right. So we've got the task in there. You can add, you can make it really, really detailed, or you may wish to, for example, do a assessment task, for example, of, okay, that was an error. Don't worry about that. An assessment task or whatever. So if we then, let's say we want to get the students to submit a file, and then we have to add some components in there. So we go to components, which is add a component, and we want them to upload a file. Now, because what they're going to upload for me is either an actual Arduino file or it is a Word document, I'm going to choose universal. And then if you want to, you could probably grade it or give it a percentage, or you could even give it a mark. So let's do a mark, and we'll do a open comment as well, right? So we choose OK, and now what you'll notice, we choose save on those ones. You'll notice that, oops, I'll just go back into that. You'll notice now that the task, because we've added the components, we can now add that the task is visible. We can have a bit of a conversation. We can allow a submission, and we can have the grading visible. And if you want to allow the teachers, the parents to see it, then you can do that. Staff are automatically defaulted to being other staff automatically. We then, once we're happy with all of that, we then hit save. And this is what it looks like at the moment. Now, it looks pretty basic at the moment because reality is we're in the back end of our school resources. So what we need to do is find that task. So if we were to drop out of that, we would have to navigate our way to that task, and that's the one here which is highlighted. We have to put it out to a class. So we choose tools. Now we can click on tools, or we can right click on the actual task and choose push to subject/classes. There's all other things that we can do. But now what it's going to do is it's going to load my classes that I teach, including my playground duties or whatever, my roll call. Now I teach this course in 3 separate classes. So if I was happy with that, I would highlight those 2, and it's going to go also to my Year 8 classes as well. I then select those. Now I can do I could put it out to Year 11 if I wanted to, but Year 11 would be a bit upset that they had to do that, so we're not doing that. We then push this out. Now that has gone to those 3 classes, and there's a couple more steps that we have to do. So what we do is we go home, we then go to the class. Now fortunately for me, I have a couple of those classes on today. So I go to the class, and here it is. I can see all the information that I've been sending to my students, but if I go to this, I will then see that I've got Explorer Challenge number 1 and Explorer Challenge number 2. This is the one that I've just created. I then go to the actions and choose edit. And the first thing I must do is add my students to the course, or to the learning task. So I go from the basic to the students, and then I choose include all, and I hit save. And now my students, when they go to our page, will be able to see that learning task when they click on that. There's a couple of other things. So what does it look like? Well, when we click on it now, we can see that no students have submitted it. But let's say Ben had submitted it, then what I could do is give him a mark. We can also set up what that mark is worth, and we can even add a comment there as well. I can choose from my private bank of comments if I want to. So I've created these when we were doing reporting. I've put all those comments in, and you can get access to those, or you can just say, well done, try next time to space out your work, or whatever you want to say, to give them some feedback. Now, then you say save, and I'm not going to apply those changes. Up here, you'll see when the student has submitted, they can do that. Also, you can put in there the due dates as well. So if we close this down, we can also go to the learning task and edit the learning task and provide it with a due date. So we can say, all right, this one's due, say, 11th of April at 4 o'clock. And we can even SMS later overdue. I think that would be rather annoying. But that's how we just simply do one simple learning task. Now, the beautiful thing about that is when we go to next year, that school resource is going to be there. And I've done a few formal assessment tasks in here. You can see there's a big assessment for my Year 12s that I've done, and I've broken it down into different tasks that they have to do and then provided them with marks. So you can do that. It is a bit more advanced to be able to do marking guides and also rubrics. The thing about rubrics is I don't tend to do rubrics because when you do the learning task, let's say, for example, where was that one I just did? Let's say we go into this one and you added a component which is a rubric. My suggestion is that you don't put a rubric in there. There's a few already created by some teachers, but what I tended to do was the students didn't look at that rubric. What they liked to do was look at a rubric in here. So I pasted the rubric there. I hope that helps.